But ultimately, Panem makes it really hard to do that, to be successful and to look after your family in a kind of war-torn world and be a good person. I think it would have to be Reaper, played by my friend Dimmy. First of all, he's an incredible actor and he does an amazing job. But I just think he's like a strong, honourable tribute, and you know, when fans see the film, they'll see what I mean. He's kind of one of the tributes that really sticks it to the games and sticks it to Panem and to Dr. Gall. And there's a beautiful moment where he kind of just has his like honourable moment. So I think I'd choose Reaper. I think initially a little bit intimidated. Yeah, I think anyone would in my position, but very quickly, that got replaced with confidence because Francis was kind enough to give me confidence and put his confidence in me to take on this role and make it my own and make it fresh and take on choreo from like a new angle and a new lens. And I think that's what fans hopefully will be excited to see is a different choreo, or at least an earlier choreo than the one that they already know. I, as a kid, was a fan of the original film, so I'd already seen his performances several times. And he's truly one of my favorite movie villains of all time, and I think anyone would agree that he's like, you know, you love to hate him. And his performance is so specific and nuanced and so him. But at a certain point, Francis and I talked about how we had to kind of not copycat in any way, because it's 64 years before. He probably speaks differently than he does later on. He probably holds himself differently as a man, as a young man. And so there was a freedom in that, in the 64-year gap. There was freedom creatively to make him my own. Oh, I loved him. I mean, yeah, he's it's probably bad to say, but he's one of my favorite characters, not because of the character, but because of how Donald played him. But I think also there's a lot of Easter eggs in this movie. There's a lot of characters that are related to other characters 64 years later. So I think the fans are going to find that very fulfilling when they hear a familiar name. Like one of the characters is Arachne Crane, who is related to Seneca Crane in the original movies. So yeah, there's all these kind of like ancestral like connections that you see in the movie, so that's exciting. I think his contradiction in himself, which he's always fighting, is what I find most fascinating. He's ambitious and he's hungry for success, but he also wants to honor his family legacy and he wants to provide for his family and also like be a good guy. But ultimately, Panem makes it really hard to do that, to be successful and to look after your family in a kind of war-torn world and be a good person. And I think what is so fascinating about this film is that you get to see in real time him beginning to realize that life is not black and white, and it's not going to be easy for him to achieve what he wants and do the right thing. Yeah, I mean, the franchise is obviously a big one, so I'm excited to see what comes of it, but I think I'm just trying to pick good roles. I'm looking for complex, interesting roles. I wouldn't rule anything out, but I think for now it's just like, you know, I like to do something different from the last thing I did.
Von Natur aus wohnt in uns allen das Gute. Wir können die Grenze zum Bösen übertreten oder nicht.